Good morning, my brothers and sisters. On this, the the quinfecta installment of the PlayStation Plus Premium Show, aka PSP Squared. It's been a while, so I actually forgot which fecta it was, and I wasn't sure.
Wait, is
which
this episode
fecta
5
I
of the
was talking about.
PSPP show?
Yeah, the PP. Why'd you have to say PP? All right. It is just that, my friends. It is PSP Squared, just one of the many parts to the Good Morning Guys podcast universe. And we thank you so much for joining us on this fine morning, afternoon, evening, or night as we discuss the glorious amount of games found within the PlayStation Plus's catalog, along with our unveiling of the remastered version, and it's not remastered, the remastered version of the 20 for 20, 10 for 20, whatever you want to call it. We played a bunch of games and we're going to review them. I am your host today, one of your hosts, the Brazilian trophy hunter and transition Sony pony, Lucas Ham Swisher. Also with me, the judge, the jury, and the executioner of every single game offered through streaming services around the globe, Patrick Novacell.
Well, you're not wrong there, but you also said we're going to talk about the glorious games that are in the PlayStation Plus catalog. And I'll tell you what, spoilers, some of these are not glorious.
They're in quotation marks. Glorious.
Special.
They're glorious to delete once you
Yes.
downloaded them and played them for 20 minutes.
Man, I couldn't
probably
delete fast enough.
I would wager you played some of these for like 19 and a half minutes and you were like, I'm done. Deleted.
That's close enough.
That's close. It's fine. Yeah, so welcome one and all. It's been a little while since our PlayStation-centric episode has dropped, but hey, we're here now, and we're glad to talk a little bit of PlayStation. There's been quite a few things newsworthy, noteworthy that have happened. I just want to take a couple of minutes to say that who can afford a PSVR 2? Are you going to get it day one?
No, $550.
You don't have that land? Come on,
just for the system. Okay, so we're talking $550 plus tax, no games. No games. It's not backwards and compatible, so there's 0 games. You have to buy all new ones. However, if any of the games are also on PSVR that are going to be on PSVR 2, you'll get the free upgrade. So you may have some games if those developers are like, okay, we'll put it on PSVR 2 as well. Now, I mean, like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, they better have what they did for the PSVR. Like, I went to Best Buy and they had you could test it out.
Yeah,
however,
try it out.
That was pre-COVID. Post-COVID, do you think people are going to put on that sweaty mask every 20 minutes as they go through that demo? Like, no, they're not going to do that. Like, unless they have like 35 PSVR 2s that they're going to have demo stations for and then do a deep cleaning each time.
They just throw them away. Once someone uses it, they just throw it to the trash.
These are the disposable PSVR 2s.
They're made of paper plates and
this isn't Nintendo VR. Like, this is like made out of cardboard.
Is this made out of the same material that you made a Virtual Boy? Yes.
This is all red and black.
Yeah.
I can't see anymore.
Why is it sticking to my skin? It's a solo
it is part of you now.
Yeah, you can't separate from it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous. I mean, I understand some of the factors in which there's inflation about, and I know the controllers they use for it are super, like, much more high tech than the little waggly flashlights that you used to use with the first one. But you got to figure out that backwards compatibility or give free upgrades to everybody. Like, come on.
Or just eat some of the upfront costs, Sony.
I
know they're already eating some because of $550 for the tech that they're putting out there. I'm sure they're going to be eating some of that cost already. They're going to be losing it on the hardware. But
I did hear someone do the math that with PSVR 1, when you bought the controllers and the camera and you didn't have those before, it did equal $500.
I don't care. I don't care what people say of what inflation costs and all that stuff. It's just like, you can't just say like, oh, Yeah, PSVR 2 in today's dollars it should actually cost $638. So actually you're saving money. No, it's going to cost you $550. I don't care what they say.
If the season ended this year, that would still be too much money.
It's like when people say, "Oh, I saved $10," but you spent 90. Still, you spent $90.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I tell you what,
I think I would, I could be swayed if I were to like play it. I'm like, well, this is unlike any other VR because of the eye tracking, because, you no longer need a camera. It's going to be more,
right.
It's going to be easier and more responsive. It sounds awesome, but I just bought a Steam Deck. I can't go ahead
just duct tape the Steam Deck to your face, and it'll be the same experience.
Why is everything blurry?
Yes, why does my face hurt? This isn't fun anymore. No, help me! I can't see. Everything's blurry.
You did this to yourself. That's what she would say.
Yeah, it's true. And she'd just lock the door and cackle.
Yes, cackle. That's not used very often. Cackle's
it's
a good
really
one.
Not. It's a good word. I like it. You can hear the word when someone says they cackled. So that was something that happened. I don't know if there's anything else. There might be other newsworthy things. I mean, God of War Ragnarok just came out.
Yes.
And I have to say, I'm 3 hours in and I'm loving it.
Good.
Just like McDonald's. I'm loving it.
Good.
So yeah, I can't wait till you play some, and then we can chat back and forth, and then like send coded messages to each other to see what part of the story we're in, so we know how much of spoilers we can share.
Like, I'm in the level with 3 grass blades.
Did you see the man who's needing a horse?
Did you see the woman with hair yet?
What about that guy with the fake eye and the booger?
You're like, no, what spoilers?
What? There's a booger? You ruined it. I'm silencing you. What do you do? Oh, muting you. I'm muting you. That's what you do, right? You mute words. So you're going to have to mute the word booger in social media so you don't get spoiled.
I think you should do that anyways.
Booger Man shows up. Spoilers from the old classic Booger Man.
Mute on Twitter. Booger.
Booger Man. Yeah. We're weirdos.
We're off track.
We are way off track. This train.
This is PSP 20 for 20. What are we doing?
All right. With that, let's jump into the PSP 20 for 20.
I'd rather talk about this than the games I played.
I'd rather talk about boogers.
Boogers is way more interesting.
Let me tell you, there are 20
10 games I played.
Let me tell you about the 20 types of boogers that you can pick out of your nose.
This is now boogers 20 for 20. We're not talking about games. Boogers.
There's crusty boogers. There's gooey boogers. There's
gooey.
There's semi-solid boogers.
The bloody boogers.
There's sticky boogers. I'll tell you what, man. Those boogers you can't get off your finger. You
gotta roll them up into a ball and then flick them.
Exactly, and flick them. You're like, as long as I don't see where it landed, it didn't land anywhere.
There's probably like 1,000 boogers on my carpet right now.
Mine aren't on the carpet. They're behind the couch. You just put them back where that little crack is. No one ever goes behind there.
Oh man, that's where the bugs get them. The bugs just take them.
Yeah, the bugs go somewhere. There's like an ant or some kind of bug that's built a house made of my boogers.
Again, we are way off track.
The track is a dot to us right now.
I don't even know where we go from here.
I don't even call this like PS. I don't know how to make up an acronym, but PSBB, PS Booger Party. Booger. All right, that's what we know we need to stop, because that's making no sense whatsoever. All right, Patrick, did you play some games?
I did. Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
Look at us. We both played some games. We both played 10 games, I believe.
Yeah.
Thus, 20 for 20. If you're not familiar with 20 for 20, you might be more familiar with boogers at this point than the 20 for 20. But if you know anything about our 20 for 20, we've done it a few times now, a couple times, I guess. This will be the few times we've done it once we finish this. But we each played 10 games for 20 minutes, and we may or may not have suffered. but we're going to save that for when we talk about each game. So we're just going to do round robin back and forth.
Okay.
And, boogers before beauties. So go ahead.
All right, man. There's a lot of boogers on my list.
Let's hear about the boogers. Okay. I'm gonna have to change it. Oh, I do need to say that we usually give a random rating if we feel so inclined, and then we also mention if we're all in on a game, if we're gonna add it to the backlog or we're gonna abandon it. But now I want to change it to something to do with boogers. So. Is it a booger? Is it a?
Well, I'm gonna let you, based on my rating, you rate it whether I'm I'm all in or I'm gonna flick it like a booger.
Flick it like a booger. Okay, is it a booger or is it a backlog or is it a bodacious game? I don't know.
All right.
Anyways, all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's hear it. Throw it at me. What's your first game?
The first game I played was Super Hot.
Ooh, yeah, super hot.
So I had played this before. I had it on PS VR actually. Speaking of VR, and it was a while ago that I played it in VR. So I played it. I jumped back in and I played it in regular,
standard edition
2D mode. This is a first person, like very muted, very minimalistic kind of game where everything is like in the background's like white or gray or tones of that, and then the enemies are red, but everything is slow motion, except when you're moving. If you're moving, it moves into fast motion, and the whole goal of of each level is to defeat the enemies without getting hit. If you get hit, you die. You have to restart the level, and these levels are like 20 seconds long, if that. So they're not long at all. So getting right to the point, a bunch of levels, it's pretty easy. So you have a gun, you can toss the gun, you can shoot the gun. You can also do some melee if you don't have a gun in your hand, because there's some levels you start you don't have a gun in your hand, and you have to either find the gun or do some melee and grab the gun that's in the air, and it's pretty cool. In 2D, not so much. It got kind of like feels like a mobile game, but so I was like, you know what?
I did not see that coming.
I because of how like quick and fast and how fast you can get the levels done. I feel like it would be a fun mobile game to do. So I kind of cheated and I went over to my PSVR and I booted up Super Hot in VR, and my goodness. I don't know why I did not play this game more than I did in VR. Being able to like duck and dive and dodge and all that stuff. Yeah, it was really cool. I would highly recommend playing this game in VR. It's one of those games where it's like, this is what VR is for. And so I definitely recommend that. If you want to, go ahead and try this one out, and it's on PS Plus, so go ahead and might as well just try it out. But if you have a VR, definitely get it and play it on VR.
So not a booger,
not a booger.
All right,
no, this is an all-in kind of game. Like I would highly recommend this game.
Nice,
really fun.
All right. Well, I like the way you're starting. I have a feeling it's gonna turn at any moment, but for now, start it on a positive note. You'll be flicking games at me and like before I can even get ready.
I might have flicked one earlier this week to you, so you can experience the booger.
Let's save that one. Okay. All right. So my first game, I was actually kind of looking forward to this game because I had played either the PS Vita or the PS3 version, and this is a Housemarque game, Super Stardust Portable.
Oh, okay.
And this was the PSP version. I think the original Super Stardust. I don't know if you've played these before.
Is it like a kind of like a Galaga kind of game?
Yeah, it's a shooty little spaceship game. It's kind of like Resogun, kind of like a Galaga. Yeah, except your playing field is an orb. It's almost like you're on a planet like Mario Galaxy, where it's a smaller planet. You can like fly around the whole planet.
Okay.
But you don't really have like really complex enemies at the beginning, like the beginning of each stage. You're really just shooting asteroids and trying not to get crushed by rocks. And as you break up the asteroids and meteorites and whatever you want to call them, the space rocks, they give you things to collect, which power up your weapons. You have a couple weapons to choose from. And it's pretty much like just a twin stick shooter. And you're just a little spaceship and you're flying around. But I really enjoyed Super Stardust HD, which was, I think, on PS3 and Vita, if memory serves, for sure PS3. And I played through all that and did the campaign. It wasn't anything complicated. And this one wasn't that complicated either. However, I must say, no trophies, which to me is always going to prevent an all-in. I'm never going to go all in on something without some kind of trophy, some kind of proof that I played and enjoyed a game. That's not true, but for the most part, it really is a big turnoff. So
that's going back in time.
Yeah, like I didn't even know those still exist. But as you're going to find out in this 20 for 20, a number of them exist. Yeah. But yeah, so this was still, though, very classic Housemarque. It's got that woman's voice that's like, combo lost, like that was in Resogun, or like rescue the humans and that kind of stuff. So it was kind of, I wouldn't say nostalgic, but I like how every single one of Housemarque's games has that woman's voice for the most part. But the controls were super weird. You could only go up, down, left, right. There was no caddy corner. Like, it was really strange. Like,
that is strange.
It did not feel good.
I mean, you're going around in an orb, but you can only go up and down and left and right. That's weird.
Yeah, it was very weird. So controls were not cool. No trophies. It's a fun game overall, but so I give a 7 out of 10 because I do enjoy that style of game. But it's abandoned for sure. So 7 out of 10 combustible meteors, by the way. Okay. So all right, what do you got next, friend?
So the next game that I played, Stranded Deep. This is a first-person game where you start off with a cinematic where you are in a plane and the plane crashes and you end up on an island. And this is a game where it's kind of like Conan the Barbarian kind of game where you have to collect rocks and collect sticks and craft.
Yeah. And oh man, this was a long 20 minutes, wasn't it?
Oh, so bad. And the controls were awful. No. I was like, why am I pressing this button to do this? And then they're like, well, like in the top left or top right, it was like, here are your things you need to do. And the first thing was collect like 3 rocks. And I was like, okay. I was like, there's a rock on the ground.
Rocks.
There's a rock on the ground. Let me go grab it. And it wouldn't let me grab it. And I was like, all right, well, maybe that's not the kind of rock I need. So then I walk around this island. This island is a very, very small island that I went to, and there were more rocks on the ground. And I went up to another rock. I was like, I can't grab this one. What is there? Is there bigger rocks I need? So I go up to another rock, and you have to have pinpoint accuracy.
Oh gosh,
to pick up a rock, and I'm like, oh my gosh,
you need tweezers and like a magnifying glass.
I had to figure out how to crouch and like get really close to this rock so I could pick it up. And he picked it up and I was like, okay, I knew these are the rocks that I needed. So I was able to find those rocks and I was like, all right, find 3 sticks. And I was like, where are these sticks? Like, where I don't even know what I'm looking for. And so I was like, collect 3 sticks. I got the 3 sticks. And like, now collect branches from a tree. And it was like, I don't even know where this tree is. Every tree I went to was a palm tree, and it wasn't the tree that I needed to. And then 20 minutes was up, and I was like, all right, I'm out of here. Get this. I didn't do anything in this game, and I don't care.
This is like Boy Scout Simulator. Maybe you should have let Clark play it a little bit so he could just live Boy Scouts digitally.
To bad games.
I mean, also, you've already done it. You've already done it. There's got to be a game, at least one game you've subjected him to.
I would rather play Paw Patrol on a roll over and over, or Super Pets. I would play those games over this one. This one was just like, it was. I mean, it wasn't like beautiful. It wasn't exciting. I don't like these kind of games. So
fair enough.
Nope.
Fair enough. Booger enough. Mm-hmm. All right. My next game really. I knew I was going to like it, but I hadn't played it on console before, so I wanted to try it. A PS1 classic, Worms Armageddon. This is a game I actually played on PC back in the day. I loved it. I played it online, like maybe like when online multiplayer was very rare. I remember playing at least a couple humans. I don't know who they were, but played them online. And played local co-op with them, taking turns at the keyboard with my friends when I was a little kid. This is just classic nostalgia fun. My son found it very boring. There were no trophies. It's a pretty bland setup, but having played through it so many times prior and just not being able to not look at it with my rosy-colored glasses, I have to give it a 8 out of 10 fires in the hole. So it was...
Still abandoning it.
It's fun. Oh, yeah, I'm still abandoning it because I played plenty of it as a kid. And again, no trophies. And there's no real campaign. Like, you can do missions. And you're pretty much just little worms with guns and rocket launchers. And I mean, it's fun. It's a fun, cute little multiplayer, but it's something that I like to just keep in my memory and leave it there.
Sure.
So, yeah. So,
all right.
What do you got next?
Next game I played was Witchwood. This was a
wait. Which wood was it? Was it Maplewood? Was it
Boogerwood? That's what
Boogerwood.
It was.
Yes, that's what I was hoping for.
Right on the heels of playing Stranded Deep, where I had to do some crafting. This game also had crafting. So this was like a top-down kind of cartoony graphics. The music was nice, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm getting a feel for this. And I'm in a room, and it's like, all right, you need to collect these things. And I'm like, I don't even know where these things are. Like, and they're like, we'll pick up the book. I'm like, where is the book? Like, I don't like, I'm so frustrated right now with from Stranded Deep. And I went straight into Witchwood. Was probably a bad idea. Going straight into this one. But this one also was all reading. And there was no
your favorite
dialogue. Yeah,
that's why we play video games, is to read.
The first thing I talked to, like this was like it's Witchwood, and it's like a lot of like witchcraft kind of stuff where you're doing potions and things like that. And the first thing I talked to was a goat, and I was like, I don't want to do this. And so I got to the second area, and I collected grass, shrubs, mushrooms. I'm like, this is not fun.
Cool. I like it.
I don't like put this together and make a soup. I'm like, why do I making a soup for this? A soup. And then I need to throw the soup on a big rock slab to open up a portal. I'm like, nope.
You throw soup on a rock slab?
I don't know what it was. Like,
you threw it in a bowl?
To be honest,
or did you pour it?
I didn't care what I was crafting. I was done. I was like, I'm just gonna try to figure as much as out as I can. And I don't like, I had to find scissors to cut the goat's hair away from his face so I could see him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is...
Wait, you mean so he could see you?
Well, yeah, so we could see each other's eyes.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look into each other's eyes. I mean, who doesn't want to do that with a goat?
Right. Yeah.
Stare him down.
But another booger for this one.
All right.
Yep.
What
boogers. What about you?
All right. Next one. I don't know if you've revisited this one since back in the day, but I played that old siphon filter.
I did, yes, I have, and I abandoned it quickly.
Oh my goodness, what a cringe opening cutscene that was clearly recorded in somebody's garage. The first 5 minutes of the game, I spent going through the options trying to figure out how to uninvert the controls. And it was really difficult to figure it out.
Wait, hold on. It started with inverted controls?
Oh, yeah. It started inverted. It started inverted.
Inverted controls.
It was uninverted controls. It was so bad, man. I was running around like pointing at the ceiling and then pointing at the ground, and like I had to change it. So it took me at least 5 minutes to figure out. Yeah, it took me at least 5 minutes to figure that out. Then 5 minutes after that, I was running around. I was shooting stuff. It was actually more like open. I thought for some reason I remember it being on rails a little bit. And
our nostalgia brain, like when we were kids, that's all we knew.
It warps everything.
Yeah.
So I was running around. I was shooting fools, picking up ammo. But I ran out of ammo, even though I had picked up ammo the whole time. And for the life of me, man, I could not figure out how to change weapons. Like, I was pressing all the buttons, and he's just like, click, 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 click. I'm like, I just picked up ammo. Give me the ammo. Oh! And so finally, I figured it out. I figured out how to revert or uninvert the aim. I figured out how to change weapons and went to town. And then I failed the mission because I failed to protect an agent. And then I failed again because then I shot an agent that I thought was an enemy. And then I tried a third time, and I just stopped and I said, you know what? I'm just going to wait until they kill me and my time runs out. And so that's what I did.
You know what? I'm done.
It was almost unplayable to me. Like, it was awful. 1 out of 10 inverted cameras is what I give it. It was a huge siphon booger filter, whatever you want to call it. So there you go.
All right.
Siphon filter, folks. Abandoned.
Yeah. The next game I played was Graveyard Keeper. This was a top-down, very Archvale, Enter the Gungeon kind of look to the game.
Yeah, kind
of. You end up like very nice opening cutscene. Feel like you're going home to your wife or something like that, and all of a sudden you're in a grave. You're like in a whole nother world, and you have to uncover a hopping skull head.
You know why you're in another world, though?
Yeah, well.
You got hit by a car because you were texting while you were going across the crosswalk.
I forgot.
Don't leave out the information.
Don't leave out.
Teaching you a lesson.
So died because I got hit by a car because I was texting my wife, partner, whatever it is, and then which I was like, oh, okay, this is the kind of look they're going for, and then they just dumb down the graphics, get the old Archvale, Enter the Gungeon kind of look. This hopping skull is helping you out. You end up talking to a donkey, and you're like chopping up dead bodies. And
that seems normal for a gravekeeper.
You get the flesh out of the zombie, and then when you do that, you get some recipes for burgers. Like, I'm like, what is going on?
Like, have you been dealing with dead bodies and you need a recipe for burgers?
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that was the kind of the gameplay loop to it. It was another one of those where it's like, okay, you gotta craft this, craft that. You have to put away, dig bodies. You're a graveyard keeper. But seriously, okay, so this was the worst game probably I have ever played in my entire life.
Oh,
not because of the gameplay, not because of the graphics, not because of the mechanics, because of the word bubbles. And so it's all reading, but with the dialogue is gibberish, and this gibberish is like nails on a chalkboard, like so bad, where if I were to play this any more than I did, I would have had to mute the game to play.
Yeah,
because the sound, the music, the dialogue, the gibberish was so bad. So bad that I was in the middle of my workday and I had to call Lucas. And I was like, hey, do you have a second? And he calls me like immediately. I'm like, hey,
I thought it was so important.
I have not important at all. I need you to download Graveyard Keeper, and I need you to listen to this dialogue because it's so bad.
I did. It was so bad.
I kind of want to leave it in a mystery because I want our dear listeners to go download Graveyard Keeper and listen to it, or maybe just go watch a YouTube video. It's a little bit easier.
It's a little bit easier, but there's nothing quite like putting on your nice PlayStation headphones or your 3D headphones and getting that full audio in your ears of the game and hearing the awful gibberish voiceover.
And
I just want to give one preview of the donkey. Yeah,
and then when you're talking back and forth, you hear that so much.
Yeah, because it's like
it's so bad, and you do it, and it's hilarious. You're doing it in the game. You want to throw your controller at your TV because it's just. You want to go outside and just burn your car.
There were some times it seems like they set up the algorithm for the gibberish to be random, and sometimes, like at least with the donkey, it would go hee haw 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 hee haw haw hee haw haw. Like it would get stuck on just one sound. It's like that's not how a donkey talks. Like I've heard donkey talk. Donkey Stomp.
and you have a smooth, sultry voice, so you doing it. It's like that's not that bad. But when on this one, it's like
every
it's
voice
really,
is bad
really
too, and every character has an annoying voiceover gibberish sound.
I definitely only played this one for 9 minutes, so sorry, 20 for 20. 9 minutes, I couldn't.
Close
do it
enough.
You
know what? You've gone over before, so it's all good.
I definitely have, and I was like, no, there's
You've
no way I can play any more of this game. There might have been something cool that happens later in the game, but because of the gibberish, I could never have gotten through it.
Not worth it. I played it for like 3.5 minutes, so you made it longer than I did.
Double booger.
Yeah, 0 out of 10. The next one I played is Wild Arms. You played Wild Arms 3, and I played the original because I have nostalgia for it. I played and beat this game back in the day. It's a PS1 classic, and I'm going to leave it as a nice memory. I played the 20 minutes. It was harder than I remember. It was uglier than I remember. 2 out of 10 polygonal boat people faces. So I'm just going to leave it at that. Don't recommend it. Abandoned. But it still was a nice memory because it had a good story that I enjoyed back in the day.
Okay.
And no trophies. So.
All right.
So there you
go. The next game I played was Prey. This was a first person shooter. I really didn't know what was going on in the first 20 minutes. I'm shooting blobs of like, they were like, what is it? What is the venom type of
like symbiotes?
Symbiotes were coming after me. And my goodness, like they were just like jumping at me so much. And I was running out of ammo so quickly. And I'm like, this isn't fun. Like, I know this was like, I think this was a highly rated game.
I think so.
I think it was. But I think it was also, I went straight and deep, Witchwood Graveyard Keeper. And I was like, there's really no game that is going to like all of a sudden blow it out of the water because I'm just really frustrated with gaming right now.
Yeah.
The controls were not responsive. Like I had a really tough time shooting these symbiotes. There was like, hey, you need to do this. I'm like, I don't know.
Don't tell me what to do.
I don't know where to go though. I'm like running around trying to figure out what to do. And the room that I was in was where it was, but I had gone back all the way through all the other rooms. I'm like, where am I supposed to go? There's like no marker. I'm like, I was just guessing. And so I finally got through it. I blew up some of the symbiotes with fire. 20 minutes was up. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm not very interested in this game. It wasn't crisp, clean graphics either. It kind of hurt my eyes a little bit playing this game. So
really,
yeah, I didn't really care for this game.
All right, well, that's good to know. Because another booger. I did not. I mean, I knew I had heard it was a little bit of a strange one, so I knew there was a chance it could be a booger. But I was like borderline interested. But you saved me from stumbling upon a booger. So thanks for being my guinea pig and playing that for me, buddy. Next one was, what's that?
I got some more boogers for you.
Oh, I know you do. Just save it now. We don't want to just share all the boogers at once.
Yeah, okay.
If Marc's still listening right now, he would take off his little, he'd be like, "Good night, everybody," and he's going to leave us.
He says that to himself in his room.
Yeah. No, he already did a long time ago when we went on and on about boogers originally. When I started listing off the types of boogers, that's when he's like, "Good night, everybody."
Marc as played.
Yep. Sorry, Marc. Let's see. And then he would be like, "Are you sorry?" No, not sorry.
Nope.
The next one I played was, again, there's been a theme here, nostalgia. Before I got rid of PS Plus Premium, I had to try all these out at least for 20 minutes. I had played these a long time ago, PS1, but I'm a different person now. I'm like 20, 30 years older, and I want to know, is it still the same? And let me tell you, it's not. It continues to be boogers, like just classic boogers. Now, this one I already knew would be kind of an issue, but this is Oddworld Abe's Odyssey. If you guys have played these games before, like they were very weird even back then. You got this bald little creature with like his lips sewn shut, and he has like a little ponytail on top of his head. It's super ugly. Like everything about the surroundings, the characters, they're all ugly and gross looking. This one was a little nostalgic, but in the end, it just was a big booger. It's an ugly, weird game. It's a side scroller. It has a lot of stealth elements, puzzle elements, and it's just like I don't like stealth, and the puzzles, like stealth puzzles, not a fan. I'm fine with never playing it again. 3 out of 10 pigeon portals. So
all right, okay,
there you go. Or actually, pigeon boogers is what I should. I need to add boogers to some of these ratings just to be clear that I abandoned it. Okay, what you got next?
All right, next one I played was Black Mirror. Now, so after
Prey, this is based off of a TV show.
Now, no, it's not.
Oh, it's not? I picked it because I thought it was based off of Black Mirror.
It's not.
Oh,
so,
man.
It's a third person game.
Okay.
The game starts out, you're running from something. The music is ominous, it feels like you need to run from something. And as I'm running, the camera keeps like moving, like in like a weird, like fluid motion but which made me because all I needed to do was run straight. And when the camera was moving, I'm like running sideways. I'm running over. I'm like, what is it? Why is the camera like this? Why aren't they giving me like just like one camera angle? Like, why is it doing all this stuff? And I get through another section, and then it's like, all right, so he gets back up. You said I need to run again, and it does it again. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna hit forward because I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed by this camera. So I'm like, I'm just gonna go forward, and I just hit forward, and the camera would move, and I'm just like, you know what? Wherever it takes me, I'm just gonna keep going.
That's where I'm going.
And I finally get to this spot. It's kind of like for a whole bunch of stones, and like a little sacrifice stone right in the middle of it. And I cut my arm and put some blood on the stone and burn myself on fire, kill myself, just like, I'm like, and he's like, he says something like, son, be safe or something like that. And that's like the opening cutscene. And this is third person, and it is like PS1 and a half to PS2 graphics. It's not pretty, like he picks up, it's one of those games where you have something in your hand and you just like stick it in your chest, like you're putting it in a pocket kind of thing, like, and the thing just disappears. I'm like, oh, this is old, this looks old. The dialogue was PS1, like Resident Evil PS1 bad, but it was like Resident Evil PS1 bad was hilarious bad.
Yeah,
this one's bad. Trying to be funny, or trying to be good, but it's just not good. And so I'm like, okay, it fast forwards into the future. Apparently, you're like the son or grandson of the guy who killed himself, and you're in this house, and it's very dark, very gloomy. It's kind of creepy, and you're walking, and as I'm walking up the stairs and through the hallway into my bedroom, the camera is still doing that whole weird thing, and I'm like, why is it doing this? And so I get to the room, and I need the guy who helps me get to my room. He's like, now stay in your room. It would be wise for you to leave your room. And I'm like, well, I'm leaving my room. Now that you say that, don't tell me what to do. So
yeah, exactly.
I had to find a lantern. I had to find some matches. I had to light it, go out. And as soon as I go out and I go into the hallway, and as I'm walking down a narrow, freaking straight hallway, the camera's like moving again. And I'm like, this, and then the 20 minutes goes off. I'm like, this is dumb. This is like, how can you play more of this game? Like, why was it not like a stationary or just like following you kind of camera? It was just so odd. Yeah, big booger.
All right, there you go. It's a black booger. Have you ever had one of those?
It's also based in like the 1920s, I think. It was,
okay.
It was very, very low budget. It was glitchy. Like
Gatsby.
Like when I was walking up the stairs to my room, my legs went through the stairs like 3 times.
Yeah,
like
I mean that happened a lot. Like, that happened a lot in the 20s. So
where my waist was in the stairs. I'm like, I don't know this. I was really excited about this. I was like, oh, this kind of premise sounds like something I would play. And nope, right out the gate, really, the camera was the worst.
Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that.
If the camera would have been straight, would have been like more static, I think this game might have played a little bit more because I kind of wanted to figure out. But because of the camera, it really ruined it. Ruined it.
That's a bummer.
Yeah,
indeed. But we all know that camera issues were definitely a thing back in the PS1.5 days. Or
I'm pretty sure this is a PS4 game though.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. My next game was Atari Flashbacks Volume 1.
Oh, okay. All right.
Let me tell you, I'm not playing Volume 2 or 3 or 4. I'm not even touching those.
Or Volume 1 again.
Or Volume 1 again. I played it for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
This one does have trophies, but I don't care. I don't care. Yikes. Old games are old. But thankfully, there were so many games on this, I could spread it out and abandon so many games, because it's a collection of Atari games. It had Atari arcade games, which were overall pretty cool, and then it had Atari home console games, which were really ugly and really bad. Yeah. So I'm gonna real quick. This is my review of the game by just telling you if the mini games were a booger or bodacious. Okay. So Black Widow, 2-stick shooter. It was pretty bodacious. I liked it. Okay. Lunar Lander, booger. Space Duel, nonsensical controls, booger. Centipede, classic and bodacious. Millipede, psychedelic. No, Millipede is a psychedelic centipede, also bodacious. Tempest, booger. Atari Force Liberator. Space Combat is just a big booger. Pong, booger. Warlords 4-square Pong, also a booger. Those were the Atari arcade games.
What?
Wacky names, I know. All right, these are the Atari home console games. 3D tic-tac-toe, booger. Bowling, I almost got a turkey, so it was bodacious. Combat tank with a question mark? I don't know why there's a tank, a question mark, but the Warfare was a big booger. It was whatever. Right. Air and sea battle, kind of a booger. It wasn't too bad, but it was like a semi-solid booger.
A dry booger.
Yeah, it was a dry booger with a little bit of goop.
If you're rating your boogers, that's...
Yeah, you're just right there in the middle. Canyon Bomber, also a booger. Desert Falcon, booger. Backgammon, booger. Dodge 'em,
games.
Kind of bodacious. And basketball, a booger. Not real basketball, but Atari basketball. Huge booger. Huge booger. So yeah, I flew through the games. Once I realized the game was kind of cool, I was like, okay, moving on. What if it's a booger? I was out. I was like, nope, this controls terribly. It's a big booger. Moving on.
All right.
So yeah, I give this one a 6 out of 10, just because it gives a good variety. Atari's nostalgic, but old game is old, as I said earlier. So it is what it is. I'm abandoning it totally.
Okay.
All right, what do you got next?
All right, the next game I played was Get Even. I've been wanting to play this game for a while.
All right,
but this is a first-person walking simulator, and I'm not big on walking simulators.
Okay.
However, you start off with a assault rifle and a silencer pistol. And I'm like, okay, all right. So I'm walking, and it's a guy who basically has like a cell phone. And the cell phone is helps you figure out clues, and it has a map on it, so you're able to find your way around where you need to go, just without any HUD. So you're using your phone he has right in front of you while you're walking, which was, I was like, oh, that was kind of cool. I get to an enemy, and I'm like, you know what? I have my assault rifle. I get it out, and I shoot him. And this game is
and I shoot him.
You're
so nonchalant about this shooting.
I don't know if that's what I'm supposed to be doing, because they
but I did it.
Me any instructions, so I just shot him, and an enemy was right next to him. I shot him as well. Apparently, that's what I was supposed to do. So,
that's good to know.
But so I needed to get some stuff off of them, and do some scanning with my phone. But this game was, it's PS3 to PS4 graphics, so it looks kind of nice.
PS3 Pro.
The voice for the guy that you are, he has a very memorable voice, but I recognizable, but not memorable. He has a recognizable voice.
Okay.
I don't know who it is, but it was good. It was kind of like a British, James Bond kind of voice to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then the guy that he was like a handler, and she's telling him what to do. And I'm going around this I don't know, house, and I'm trying to find this kidnapped girl, and
Okay.
but trying to find this kidnapped girl, I'm like, I have to go to these certain places, I have to pick up these certain things, I have to unlock these doors. I'm just like, this is why I don't like walking simulators. I'd rather it be, if this was a game where I'm like a sneaking, kind of like spy kind of game where I could like shoot, go to the next room and shoot and do
Right.
that. But there's just too much walking simulator to this game. And so unfortunately, I wanted to like this game, but it was just, like I said, way too much walking simulator.
Gotcha.
So booger,
Yeah.
booger for this
That's
one.
that's unfortunate. At least
Yeah.
it had some hope and it had
Yeah,
some promise. But that walking simulator, you just can't.
Yeah. So I played this one a little
Can't
for a
get
little
around
more
that.
than 20 minutes. I played it for like 30 to 40 minutes. Because I wanted to
Uh-huh.
find out what was going on. Does it get like it was too much collecting things and trying to
Mm,
get, it wasn't too much action, which I wanted.
gotcha. Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I was looking up real quick the guy that speaks the main voice. He's also in Game of Thrones. Did you watch Game of Thrones?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So I don't know who he was known for
say.
Game of Thrones. Yeah, I was trying to see who he was. He was Rattleshirt. He was in 3 episodes.
Okay.
Then he was in Tom and Jerry's An Elephant Trainer, and then Open Mic. I don't know if these are.
I don't know, but yeah, it seemed like I've heard his voice before.
Yeah, maybe you have.
Yeah, it was a good voice.
All right. The next game I played was one that is not exactly nostalgic because I didn't play it back in the day, but I did play its newer version, Everybody's Golf. That is Hot Shots Golf, the original.
Okay. Yeah.
And I liked golf games. I like golf games. Growing up, I played a variety of golf games on Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and and then later on, even the PlayStation days with like PGA or Tiger Woods on Wii and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play the original Hot Shots Golf. So
okay.
I really, by the end of this, I did want to add it to my backlog, but it's a premium only. I didn't keep my premium, so I had to abandon it. But it does have trophies, and I don't know how easy they would be, but it was a pretty straightforward golf game. I played as Taku in an amateur tourney, and of course, the first shot I took on the first hole, I put it in the water and got a quadruple bogey. I definitely hit some trees, and by the end, I think I had played through. I think after 20 minutes, I played through 6 or 7 holes. I ended with a plus 13. Not great, but I did make a birdie with 2 minutes left in my playtime. So that made me feel somewhat accomplished. So I give this 8 out of 10 Eagles. So it's a quality game. And since I played Everybody's Golf, I saw some of the connections to like where Everybody's Golf got its inspiration for some of the things they do. In that, I don't know. Have you played Everybody's Golf before?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's a fun little golf game. So I liked it, even though I abandoned it. So yeah, that's Hot Shots Golf. What do you got next?
Next game I played was Call of Cthulhu.
Oh yeah,
another walking simulator.
All right. And I really know how to pick them. I tell you what, know how to pick them.
I had no idea what was going on. This was in like hell, I guess. It didn't look good, didn't sound good. I don't know when this game was released. I don't know. I didn't look into anything after this because really I didn't play this game more than 10 minutes. I couldn't stand. I didn't know what was going on. It was just like it didn't look good. And when you're in a walking simulator and you love them as much as I do, you need the graphics, you need something to bring you in. And the story wasn't pulling me in. Nothing in this game pulled me in. So this was an immediate delete, immediate flick of the booger. I wanted to give it the old call, but I couldn't do any more than this one. I couldn't do it. Like
I already pushed you to the edge with some of the others, huh?
Yeah, I played a more Graveyard Keeper than this, and which
That's
I
saying
just
something.
couldn't. Yeah, I just couldn't. So this was a huge bloody booger.
Oh, bloody burger. Ooh, that's no good.
Is that too
Well,
much for you?
no,
And we've lost Marc.
Yep. Oh, bye for the third time, Marc. We love you.
Oh,
We'll miss you.
man.
Well, speaking of bloody burgers, my next one is also a
Speaking of
bloody
blood.
burger. I mean, you just segued it right into it. So my last three games. So how we did this 20 for 20 is pretty much I picked my own games randomly based off nostalgia and a variety of other reasons, and then I picked Patrick's games.
Yeah.
So if you don't like what we've talked about today, it's all my fault. Just you can blame me. It's fine. I am the booger maker, and I have flicked the boogers all over the place. But the next game I played was actually because of Dead Cells. I told you guys on an earlier episode that Dead Cells has a bunch of different crossover skins and weapons, and I've come across them in the game, but I don't have any like connection to the original games. So I had decided recently to, if I had access to these games through Game Pass, through PlayStation Plus, I was gonna download some of them and try them out so that I can understand where the usually in Dead Cells it has an outfit that you wear and it has an item that you use, a weapon of some kind. So I want to understand what the purpose of these are. So in Dead Cells, you have an outfit where you literally wear a metal cone on your head and face, and it's like wrapped in barbed wire, and it goes really tall. It looks like a dunce cap, except it's pure metal. You wear it over your whole face, and then you run around. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then the weapon that comes from this game that I'm going to mention is a vial, and it's just called a blood vial, and you smash it on your face, and it makes you take less damage, but it damages you at the same time. And that's the item. Like, I was just like, this doesn't make any sense.
What? All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's totally worthless item. Like, I'm doing one run where I use this item and just to see, and it's pointless. But anyways, so the game
what is this game again?
So the game, now that was all lead up to it.
Oh, okay. All right.
This game is called Blasphemous. And it's like a 16-bit Dante's Inferno game, except it's bloody and it's like steeped in Catholic symbolism, and it's a side scroller where you just I lost you with side scroller, but
I thought the Dante's Inferno was more of a God of War clone.
Yeah, it's more like the subject matter and the style, I guess. It's like a side-scrolling Dante's Inferno, 16-bit though. So the game starts with this lady holding the statue, and she's hitting herself with the statue. And then when she hits herself like the second or third time, it turns into a sword and she impales herself. And then she turns into stone. Digital 16-bit blood's going down her, and then your character with the metal cone head walks up, pulls the sword out, and that's like the cutscene. And then it transitions to a side scroll where you're pretty much then journeying through almost like purgatory or something. Like there's Catholic symbology everywhere, like crosses, and like your enemies, like one enemy has like a huge cross that it carries, and then it just kind of heaves it like over the shoulder at you and tries to smash you with it. And you have to hit them with your sword, and it's like super dark, not my cup of tea. I did find out that in this game, the flask actually heals you. You smash it on your face and it heals you. And I'm like, wouldn't that be nice if that's how they used it in Dead Cells? But they don't. Yeah. So that didn't really make any sense. But I played the game for 20 minutes. It was quite gross and quite a bloody booger. So I give it 1 out of 10 metal cone heads. It was just downright disgusting. Like it was maybe one notch above Scorn, in terms of like a side-scrolling version of Scorn with more religious Catholic. I don't really enjoy when they take like the dark side of religion and symbolism. Like I don't know if you played I can't even remember, Binding of Isaac.
No,
that I would not recommend it. There are people who really love that game, but the setup of that game is your mom is like this really violent, strict Christian woman that locks you in your room, and then you have to battle your way out of your room shooting enemies. It's bizarre. But anyways, so Blasphemous. It was a big booger. So 1 out of 10. What do you got next?
The next game I played was Medieval.
Oh,
And
yes. This is a classic.
Yeah, what is it?
Yeah. This is a remake.
Okay, it's a remake. Okay. Okay, so it is just
or maybe a remaster. It might be a remaster. Like they made it look pretty, but it might still control. It definitely
felt like a game that was made in 1998.
PS1, baby. Yeah. It was the end of PS1's life, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Towards the end.
It was, a Tim Burton type of look to the game. Who did the Nightmare? No. That Christmas Nightmare on Christmas. What is it?
Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nightmare Before Christmas. Was that Tim Burton?
Yeah, it's Tim Burton. Okay, I mean, there's other people involved, but we give credit to Tim Burton. So
it kind of feels like that.
I can see that.
Where you are, the story was funny. Where you are this knight that is like revered in this town for years, generations, and he comes back to life. But you find out that you died in like 2 seconds into the battle, and they were kind of like, they put you up on a pedestal because they were making a joke out of you, like, hey, look at this huge, great hero, and they made stories out of him. But in reality, he didn't do anything.
He's a doofus.
Yeah, he's an idiot. And he's like the character, like, what was he also the mannerisms and the jokiness to this is kind of like who's those like Double Fine? Who did Double Fine?
Oh, yeah. Why
can't I think of his name?
Tim Schafer.
Tim Schafer. Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like one of his games.
The comedy is like Tim Schafer. So I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. And so it's just like a third person, just hack and slash kind of game where you're just getting collectibles. You're going through enemies. You're reading books. You're trying to figure out, what all the controls are through all the tutorial. You got daggers you throw. You have a sword. You can wind up, power up your sword, power up your daggers, and kind of defeat enemies a little bit easier. Mm-hmm. I had a pretty good time with this game. Like, I was pleasantly surprised with this one. Will I go back to it? Probably not. But if I were to show a game to my son,
I was just going to say, maybe it's be a good one to show to your son.
I would definitely play or watch my son play this game, because it was quite funny. It was a pretty easy game. There's difficulty settings, and you can turn it on easy. And so I thought it was pretty easy. There's places like I was getting hurt really badly because I was just like running towards it because I was trying to like get as much into this 20 minutes as I could.
Right.
There's places where you can just like, there's no health power-ups, but there's like little green fountains that you can stand on, and you'll get full health again. So yeah, I had a pretty good time with this. It was quite funny. So I would give this not a booger.
Not a booger out of boogers. Yes. I like it. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'll probably check it out sometime, play it with my kids, see if they find interest in it. It was one I played the original. I think I only played the original in a demo. I never played the actual games.
When I played this, I was like, this seems familiar. I was probably because I played a demo of it at one point.
Them old demos, man.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure. All right, the next one was another game I played. Well, I can't say 100% because of Dead Cells, but Dead Cells did not release a outfit that matched this game, but it did come out with a weapon that you could use that is kind of similar to Shovel Knight's shovel, where you use it to bounce off of enemies, but it's called the nail, is it the nail? It's like a little sword or a little javelin sword, but it comes from the game Hollow Knight. And if you're familiar with Hollow Knight, it is a side-scrolling Metroidvania. I've been recommended this game by Jared Orr and a few other fellow gaming friends of mine who speak very highly of it. People are very excited for the Silk Song sequel that's going to be coming out some year. Who knows? It's been delayed multiple times, but what game hasn't been delayed multiple times?
Yeah.
But I jumped in and I played 20 minutes of it, and I enjoyed it. I liked it. I'm not usually much for a bland, dark kind of games where there's not a lot of vibrancy or color, or it's kind of like very drab. Like it seemed like every character you talk to, of course, is reading. There's no voiceover work. It's just no, but at least it's not like it was more subtle gibberish. And then you pretty much just explore around. It had a roguelike feel to it. Like I would explore this cavern, go a certain direction, and then run into an enemy that I didn't know how to kill that destroyed me. And then I went back and went a different direction and explored more, I rescued a couple worms. Like they're most of the enemies, and like the enemies and the characters you talk to are bugs. And there's a little bit of mystery involved. You're trying to discover why, like what's happened to people of a village and different things. So it was pretty interesting. And I think it's something that I will give more of a fair shake. I don't feel like 20 minutes is enough to really form a solid opinion of it. But overall, I'd say 7.5 out of 10. Okay. Not a super like, ooh, I need to go all in on this score, but I do like my side scrollers. I do like Metroidvanias, so I will most likely come back to this one at some point.
All right.
But so Hollow Knight.
Cool. Well, all right. The last game that I played.
Last one. Go out with a bang.
Was Soma.
Okay.
And this is a first-person walking simulator.
Dang it.
So,
man, I gave you all the good stuff.
You have a nightmare. You wake up, and the doctor says you need to take this medicine because your brain is bleeding. I'm like, what? It's like, all right. So
you're like, no, those are just boogers. Don't worry about it.
I was like, and so he's like, you have to take this like, vial of whatever to get ready for a procedure that you're about to do. And the doctor's like, just take it. And then he's like, where did I put it? So with the walking simulator, you're able to pick up anything in this guy's apartment. And I'm like, where is, like, for like 5-7 minutes, I'm like going through like, okay, this vial is probably in his bathroom, medicine cabinet. Nope, not in there. I'm just picking up toothpaste. I'm throwing it. I'm turning on water. I'm throwing the soap. I'm like, where is it? So I go to his desk. I push his chair out of the way. I'm like, I'm throwing like pens. I'm throwing up these pieces of paper. I'm like, where is it? So I go over to his kitchen. I'm like, oh, it's probably in the refrigerator. I open up the refrigerator, and I'm just like messing around everything that's in the refrigerator,
of course,
just throwing everything. I'm like, where is this? So I open up all the cabinets. I start throwing glasses because I'm so mad. Like, where is this stupid vial? So I go to his bedside, and he has like a little, little nightstand. So I open up the first drawer, and he's like, "Oh, there it is." I'm like, "Son of a gun, it was in front of me the entire time." So I pick it up, and I drink it, and so then I grab my keys and I leave, and I go towards the doctor's office, and I get to the doctor's office, and it's like it looks like it's under construction. There's no receptionist there. And so I try to go through the door, and it's locked by a keypad code. So I'm like, okay, I gotta go get a keypad code. I go over to the desk, and he's like, it's got to be written down here somewhere. I open up the email, and it's like, all right, they go to the email, and it's like, like, hey, I can't put it on digital platform. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's probably written down somewhere. So pick up a piece of paper. I find a 4-button code, put it in, I open it up, and right behind that door is the doctor. And there's like right behind him was this looks so shady. Like, it does not look like a doctor's office. There's wires everywhere. There's, just Bunsen's and burners, and then just like all this stuff. I'm like, okay. I'm kind of interested. Like, what is going on? Like, who is this doctor? There's no way this guy has a license to practice here. And he's like, why don't you go sit down? And this chair that he makes me sit down in is like that Arnold Schwarzenegger Total Recall thing.
Oh,
where
no,
it's just like,
that's not good.
Yeah. So I sit down, he puts this like huge helmet on me, and then it goes black. And then I wake up, I take the helmet off, and it looks like it's been years since I've been in this uh, seat. And
Right.
so there's like wires hanging down, the lights are flickering, and I'm like, oh, what is going on? Like I am interested in where this is going. So again, it's a walking simulator. I had to like find out how to unlock doors. I need to get a wrench. I need to get this tool, just like I don't care for these types of games.
Yeah.
But anybody that does like walking simulators, this looks like a good one.
Yeah.
It really looked like a good one. I was not for me, but I could see this game being awesome.
Yeah. So you did all that in 20 minutes, or did you play longer?
No, that was 20 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well, you got some stuff done, between messing up the guys' rooms and
I'm glad I got space. I wanted to take I should have taken a picture of it, of all the stuff everywhere.
Yeah, just everywhere, just the disheveled place.
Yeah. So, but no, I'm glad I got to the part where you wake up and from that procedure, and looks like it's been years, maybe decades. I don't know. Like, I don't know if like he's having a dream, or if it's like the procedure messed with his brain and he thinks it's this. Like, it was that mystery. Like, I was like, oh, this could be good if I like walking simulators.
Intriguing. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So not a booger, more of like a stuffy nose.
I'm sober. I'm fine. All right. Yeah. We'll take it. We'll take this. We'll take the stuffy nose. It's all good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So the last game I played was actually a sequel of a game I've completely played through and enjoyed. But I played this one again because of Dead Cells. And this is because of a character and a weapon that are becoming in the future. This is a chicken masked individual with a baseball bat. And so I played Hotline Miami 2.
Oh, man. All
Wrong
right.
number. So I played the first one. I loved the first one. It had definitely had like a Nintendo to Super. I want to say like a 10-bit look to it, where it's like completely top down, but it's kind of like Blood Roots in the fact that you're like running through areas, throwing stuff, picking up stuff, shooting stuff. It's very violent, but it's like pixelated, like super ugly graphic violence. So it's really kind of funny. So Hotline Miami 2 continues that. Except this one, you play even more of a variety of people. In the 20 minutes I've played, I probably played 4 characters. I played as a zebra masked man who I'm trying to remember what he was doing. I think they were at a party and they were bored. He and other characters who were also in animal masks, like a leopard man, a duck man, or I guess it could be a woman or whatever. But people with masks on, they were like, "We're bored. Let's go, let's do something fun." And so they leave and the zebra man goes in, but each character had like different abilities. Like zebra man could roll like on the ground, which, top down, really, 16-bit, 8-bit graphics. It's not really that incredible, but it makes you move a lot faster, and you dodge like bullets, and you can like, get closer to enemies so you can knock them over. Once you knock them over, and like you can use doors to knock people over, you can use, lamps. You just kind of press the pickup button and you can pick up so much stuff, and then throw it, also shoot stuff. And then at some point you play as a cop, where you go into a department store and you can dodge enemies like between turnstile clothing racks, and like it looked like a department store, even though it was like very, just low graphical fidelity, but it still moved really well. It was really fun. It took me a little bit to get the rhythm down again of like the button combos of picking up and throwing stuff, shooting stuff, throwing stuff when you run out of bullets, and getting more stuff to, take out the enemies, because they react really fast. Like as soon as they see you, they shoot you, or as soon as they see you, they punch you. And so thankfully it's a real quick game where you recover really fast and you can just continue where you left off. Each floor has a checkpoint, that kind of stuff. So fun game. I'll probably go back to it since I played through the first one. I have a little nostalgia for it. So 7.5 out of 10. Zebra masks. It is very violent, and they upped the violence in the sequel from the first one.
Wow, really? I thought the first one was bad.
So like at one point, like there's like pixelated intestines on the ground, and like coming out of a body, and like that kind of stuff. So yeah, So Hotline Miami 2. It was less psychedelic than the first one. You played the first one, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and like where it was just trippy sometimes. You're like,
so
what
trippy.
what is happening right now? But it was a little less trippy. It seemed like they upped the story in terms of complexity. So it looks interesting. You're playing like an undercover cop. You're playing a masked zebra. You get a little variety of characters to play as. So there you go. All right. That is Hotline Miami 2. That concludes our 20 for 20. We made it, Patrick, for the third time.
Congratulations.
Third time's a charm. Look at us.
Third time. The second time for PlayStation, but the third time overall because we've done it for Xbox.
That's right. There's
so many free games out there.
So many free ones. So many free boogers for us to pick and flick.
We are doing you all a favor. So you're welcome. You wasted an hour listening to us talk about 18 boogers.
That's right. And a couple goodies, oldies but goodies. So check them out if you really want to, really, just shove a pencil in your ear or play Graveyard Keeper. You pick whichever one you want to do. So, all right.
Choose pencil.
You choose a pencil. Fair enough. I choose boogers. Just unlimited amounts of boogers. Just. All right, I'm going to stop.
Would you rather?
Before it goes too far. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Well, and there goes Marc for the 6th time. He's gone. For the 16th time, he is out of here. All right, that concludes our, what did I say? Our 5th installment of PSP Squared. Thanks for so much. Thanks for so much, guys. Yes, thanks for so much. We don't have really much in terms of housekeeping. You know where to find us. Click on that linktree.com/thegmgpod or type it in. You can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, and Spotify. You can call us at 929-GMG Guys. So many options. You have no excuse not to talk with us, not to tell us. We got to tell us at least one booger in one bodacious game you played this past week. So we want to hear it from you. Share with us. Alrighty then, Pat, along with you, our beloved friends, family, and joiners, go get your good morning this week, and may God bless and guide your lives as you live, as you work, and as you booger.